Woke MSNBC host throws a major tantrum live on air, slamming her desk because the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor, winning. AOC breaks her silence after Republican blows apart her Bronx Girl act with a damning school yearbook photo. AOC has responded to having been exposed as a total fraud when an old yearbook photo emerged last week. As the Gateway Pundit reported, a New York state lawmaker called out Representative AOC over her upbringing after she referred herself as a tough Bronx girl during an internet spat in which she traded jabs with President Trump himself. During one of her recent and stupid quips on Twitter/X, she called herself a Bronx girl and claimed she could eat Queens boys like Trump for breakfast. But that's pure fantasy, because now Republican New York Assemblyman Matt Slater has exposed her. Slater shared an image of AOC during her freshman year in suburban Yorktown High School, which is in Westchester County and almost an hour north of the Bronx, where she claims to rep. Matt Slater posted on X, "At AOC, if you're a Bronx girl, then why are you in my Yorktown yearbook? Give it up already." Yorktown High School, Emerald, 2004. Slater's expose of AOC should sound familiar to many of the Gateway Pundit readers. Remember, 6 years ago, the Gateway Pundit's Jim Hoft was the first to expose AOC for growing up in a wealthy Yorktown neighborhood. At the time, an anonymous classmate reached out to the Gateway Pundit back then and sent several photos of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from high school. As you can see, AOC definitely doesn't have this hardcore upbringing that she claims to have. Well, on Friday, AOC did respond to her cover being blown yet again. AOC responded by stating, "I'm proud of how I grew up and talk about it all the time. My mom cleaned houses and I helped. We cleaned tutors' homes in exchange for SAT prep. Growing up between the Bronx and Yorktown deeply shaped my views of inequality, and it's a big reason I believe the things I do today." Typical Democrat. Claiming to be oppressed, claiming to be suppressed. Meanwhile, she grew up in a pretty good neighborhood. This is how they deceive their stupid voters. Chuck Schumer recently got trolled online as his gambit to force an overworked clerk to read the big beautiful bill backfires when she reaches the section that defines the word woman. The despicable Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's stunt to have the entire 940-page Big Beautiful Bill read has officially blown up in his face after his party got exposed to a basic biological fact that they are clueless about. As the Gateway Pundit reported, the Senate over the weekend advanced Trump's Big Beautiful Bill to a full debate despite 2 GOP defections after hours of drama. The legislation accomplishes several critical policies, including making the Trump tax cuts permanent, eliminating taxation on tips and overtime, locking down the border, and taking an axe to Joe Biden's green energy scam. Following the vote, Chuck Schumer took to social media to vow that he would make the Senate read the entire 940-page bill to stall its likely inevitable passage. Per Senate procedure, the poor, overworked Senate clerks were to begin reading the bill word for word. However, Schumer and the Senate Democrats are likely now regretting this move because the definition of the word woman was included in the bill. Democrats have no clue what the word means, and many of them think that biological men can give birth.
The term female means an individual who naturally has, had, will have, or would have, but for a developmental or genetic anomaly or historical accident, the reproductive system that at some point produces, transports, and utilizes eggs for fertilization. 5. Male. For purposes of paragraph 3, the term male means an individual who naturally has, had, will have, or would have, but for a developmental or genetic anomaly or historical accident, the reproductive system that at some point produces, transports, and utilizes sperm for fertilization. Sex 71115.
Talk about a backfire. Pride comes before the fall. These people are absolute clowns, and it's a circus at this point. Speaking of clowns, Democrat senator makes an incredibly bizarre claim after being confronted with news of record-low border crossings under the Trump administration. During an appearance on Meet the Press, Senator Chris Murphy a Democrat, was confronted by host Kristen Welker with the historically low border crossing numbers under the Trump administration. Murphy could not admit the obvious and uttered this unbelievable whopper. Take a look.
You know, border crossings are at a record low. Do you give the Trump administration some credit for that? And are you, when you look at those figures, do you think things are moving in the right direction, at least in that regard, Senator?
No, I don't give them credit for that because border crossings are low because they're violating the law every day.
I've heard a lot of stupid things, but this has to be one of the stupidest things I have ever heard. The reason why border crossings are so low is because the Trump administration is breaking the law every day. So they're upholding the law, immigration law to be more specific, and that's somehow breaking the law? Cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis are 4 different diseases in 4 different areas of medicine. What if they can all be treated with parasite medication, and that turns out for these diseases to be true? What if I told you that if you had a pet or ate sushi, you are more likely to have parasites? This means that a lot of our ailments that we experience every day are caused not by environmental issues, but by parasites as well. This is something Big Pharma does not want you to know about. I know many of us check off many of these boxes. This is why Purge is offering their new liver cleanse products. For all of you out there that need to clear those toxins out once and for all, PurgeStore.com offers everything you need to cleanse and detox your body. Powerful enzymes and probiotics, 15-day colon cleanse protocols, liver cleanse, and of course, the parasite cleanse. Right now, if you go to PurgeStore.com and use promo code DREW, that's DREW, you will get 20% off your entire order. Use the link in the description below, PurgeStore.com, and support the Gateway Pundit today. The Gateway Pundit is supported by the people, we the people, that is you, the American people. We thank you for your support. Speaking of stupid people, CNN reporter Lisa Ling uses her young child to push leftist political agenda fueled by TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. CNN's Lisa Ling, host of This Is Life, used her young daughter to push her leftist political agenda and pass down her Trump Derangement Syndrome to the next generation. In a video shared on her Instagram, Ling attempted to give the impression she was trying to teach her daughter compassion for illegal aliens. Instead, it definitely came off more like she was advocating for businesses to exploit illegal alien undocumented workers with cheap wages.
So Ray, what happened yesterday at our favorite ramen restaurant?
There was only one worker.
Who was that worker?
The owner.
Why was the owner the only one worker?
Because of the situation of people getting taken to another country, and I think they're scared.
So the entire staff at the restaurant didn't show up to work, and this is the same restaurant that had the help wanted signs out for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? Do you think that the restaurant is going to be able to survive with no workers?
No.
And what do you think about the fact that workers are too scared to go to the places where they've been working so they can support their families?
I think it's sad, but I think it's whatever Trump has to do. It's not good.
Sad though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, way to teach your children critical thinking. Just blame everything you don't like. Blame everything that you don't want to accept. Blame absolutely every problem that you claim is a problem on Donald Trump. Speaking of severe TDS, leftist CNN contributor commits a blunder for the ages while trying to fact-check Scott Jennings and attack President Trump. As the Gateway Pundit has reported, President Trump proudly announced a U.S.-brokered peace agreement between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo on Friday. Jennings was thrilled about this accomplishment, along with many others, by President Trump this week. However, this did not sit well with the CNN contributor Carrie Champion, who was a panelist alongside Jennings on CNN's Table for Five. I don't know who watches this, but let's take a look.
President, this is indeed a historical day because it's the signing of a peace agreement between Congo and Rwanda to end a conflict that has been going on for 30 years.
Let me ask you a question.
Literally in the Oval
Can I say something?
Friday afternoon.
You said something earlier. You said, and you kind of agree with Pete when he says there's something about the media where they feel like they want to disprove Donald Trump. Is that what you said? Something to that effect?
Yeah, it happens every day.
And you think that's what they want to do, right? You think the media is going in to say he's lying and he's not telling the truth. You
Correct.
believe that?
That is the standing disposition.
Do you believe that he tells the truth?
Yeah, I do.
Every time?
You think
all presidents do
you
that?
think the
All presidents
tells the truth? This current president tells the truth often.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I also think that, to our point that we haven't established, he does announce things before it's too soon.
They literally had the countries in there.
The program isn't.
I feel like you should watch the news before you come out here.
I feel like you should stop trying to defend him just to defend him.
I feel like you should watch the news.
Isn't it crazy? Even when President Trump is securing peace, in their TDS, they want him to fail. Here's another woke leftist host. MSNBC host Symone Sanders Townsend comes unglued, ranting about SCOTUS ruling on birthright citizenship. MSNBC host Symone Sanders Townsend came unglued on Friday during a discussion on the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship, calling the ruling, quote, insane.
I can't believe that we are asking the question, is the 14th Amendment to the Constitution constitutional? That is what, it is crazy. And I am sorry, but people need to call, this is crazy. They're asking us not to believe our own eyes and our own ears. They're asking us to go against everything that we know to be true. This is insane.
The 14th Amendment was for the babies born to slaves at the time. Nothing to do with illegal immigration. But again, low IQ. And all of a sudden, these woke talk show hosts are constitutional experts? No. These people just want to get their way. And when they don't get their way, they literally throw tantrums publicly like big, gigantic woke babies. And it's embarrassing. But keep it up. My name is Drew Hernandez for The Gateway Pundit, and you have been on Watch with Drew Hernandez. I'll see you guys on the next one.